Along the coast here in Southern California, we could use a little of that ocean breeze here on campus at UCLA, the home of the Bruins. It's a hot one today. UCLA hooking up with the only team it didn't beat in women's soccer in conference last year, tied Arizona State in 2014, the 2015 meeting on tap here from Westwood. Hi there, Jason Knapp here. Glad to have you with us alongside the former UCLA standout Tracy Bailey. Tracy, first conference losses since 2012 for UCLA last weekend when they fell at Washington and at Washington State. They found a little something, though, the other night in a 5-1 dispatching of Arizona.
Well, they finally got that breakout game offensively. Were able to get 5 goals against Arizona on Friday. But for UCLA, it's going to be all about their defense today. They've really got to focus here. They've given up a lot of preventable goals, and they really have to get back on their feet. They're going to have a total team effort here today. They can't let their mentality get out of focus, as you see here, just giving up easy goals for UCLA. They must be sharper and work together as a unit. And once they do that, we'll start to see confidence and we'll start to see them tap into their potential.
Well, for Arizona State, Sun Devils started this campaign with a bang. 4 straight wins, but they haven't picked up a victory since. And for them, the issue has been finding the back of the net.
Well, it's no secret without their leading goal scorer, Callie Farquharson, they've really struggled with their goal production. Only able to find the back of the net 2 times in the last 5 games. Farquharson played on Friday at USC, expected to play again today. But for ASU, they must have players be able to step up and take some of that responsibility and not only create chances, as we see here, that they can do, but the key is going to be finishing.
Yeah, Arizona State certainly has some firepower. Can they ignite it on the offensive end and do what UCLA did the other night, and that's stop a slide in conference? The Bruins and the Sun Devils, the lineups, and the opening kick on the way from LA. Legs that look and feel like pure silk. Just about ready to go here on campus at UCLA for the Sun Devils and the Bruins. Let's look at this formation for Arizona State. Again, a myriad of injuries. Madison Stark, the latest. She is out for this game after running into her keeper and getting dinged up the other night. But Callie Farquharson back on the attack for Arizona State, and that is certainly a good sign. One of the top goal-scoring threads. And then UCLA, they've been juggling different formations. They'll trot out a 4-2-3-1 today. Amber Munnerlyn, the North Carolina transfer, will start out up top. And we'll see how the Bruins fare in this one, trying to make it back-to-back wins. Some quick keys, Tracy.
Yeah, for UCLA, they just have to be sharp defensively, and for their movement up front, it has to maintain. They had an excellent showing on Friday against Arizona, a lot of mobility. For ASU, they need to finish their opportunities and let the ball do the work. They had a lot of bangs and bruises, especially resulting from Friday's match. So today's a Sunday game. It's a hot game, hot day out there, so they're going to have to let the ball do most of the work for them.
And Siri Ervik, freshman from Oslo, Norway, making her first start of the season. The goalkeeping spot has been somewhat in flux for the Bruins all year. So Ervik got the call on Friday, made 2 saves in the win, and gets the nod again for the Bruins today. Again, defense wasn't much of an issue. UCLA able to score in the 5th minute and ring up 3 first-half goals against number 15 Arizona and route to that 5-1 win. And for Arizona State, another hard luck loss. They scored in the first half and led 1-0 at the break here in Los Angeles at USC, and then it all slipped away, conceding a couple of goals in the second half to fall for the 7th time in a row.
For Coach Boyd in that game, he thought that they just took their foot off the gas pedal after scoring that first goal. They kind of set back, weren't as aggressive on the ball, and today he said coming into the match, that's one of their biggest things that they need to change. Today he needs to see his team have more of an effort.
9th season at the helm for the Sun Devils. More than 200 wins overall during his time with Arizona State, and also former head coach at Cal. Edge of the box here for Arizona State. Turn, shot blocked. And now a whistle. Madison Kametko inside the 18 attacking. And Alvarado there defensively for UCLA.
That was a good-looking start for Arizona State, trying to create in the box there. As a great block shot by Annie Alvarado, and then as the 2 go for the loose ball, Alvarado gets a foot to the ankle.
Yeah, the challenge from the sophomore from Pinnacle High School in Phoenix leads to the free kick for UCLA.
And in talking to Coach Josh Walters, he said that Annie Alvarado really was that key piece in their win against Arizona on Friday. They really focused on trying to make the plays go through her, and it really seemed to work.
Josh Walters, assistant under Amanda Cromwell, first at University of Central Florida, and now here in season number 3 at the helm of UCLA. And that national championship, first before falling in the national quarterfinals to Virginia. Again, a little strange at one point a couple of games ago to see UCLA with a sub-500 record. Low shot attempt goes through and an easy play for Irving. But so many pieces from last year's team gone for UCLA, and a lot of these players, 11 first-year starters for UCLA among the 20 players that have gotten starts this year. So starting to round into form. You just get the sense that Amanda Cromwell and company just needed a game like Friday to kind of boost the confidence, and it's much like what Arizona State is desperate for, and it's a game to kind of go your way.
Well, absolutely, and I think for this UCLA squad, they really have to get out of that identity of last year's team. They have to have the confidence because these are all really great quality players. They're such an athletic team. They're so deep. They just have to have that confidence, and that'll come with more experience, of course. But once they get that confidence, they're going to be a different team than they were at the start of the season.
Madison Ty, senior out of Terra Linda High School, trying to play it forward, trying to attack here on the right side. Zoe Gorowski.
And I thought it was interesting in talking to Coach Cromwell of UCLA. She said, look, we're trying to find ourselves, but Arizona State is trying to find themselves again. So I thought that was interesting. UCLA hasn't necessarily found their identity this season, whereas Arizona State, they had much success in the beginning of the season, but just haven't had the same success in this last stretch of games.
Yeah, amazing beginning. As you look at the clearance opportunity here for the redshirt sophomore Chandler Morris. Sun Devils winning their first games by a combined score of 16-0 in the first 4 contests. Since then, the 7 straight losses. Only 4 goals in that 7-game run. Again, Callie Farquharson, one of the top goal-scoring threats in the conference, missing 4 of those games back last game. And the schedule has been stout for Kevin Boyd. And he thought that Farquharson maybe about 85% right now. As you look at the goal-scoring numbers for the Sun Devils, they've conceded some at the back as well. But you got the sense from talking to UCLA, they respect the heck out of this Arizona State team and their ability to score.
Well, absolutely, and they've proven that they are dangerous not only this season but last season. UCLA was outshot in their match at Arizona State, and that was their only blemish on their conference record. They ended up tying that match. So there's no doubt that UCLA, with a lot of the pieces here in their offense, this ASU offense being back this season, definitely respect them and know that they have to bring it defensively.
Off the giveaway, Darian Jenkins near midfield for UCLA. A little bit of a collision. And holding her right hand as it's turned over. Sun Devils look to break back. We see the junior from Riverton, Utah.
And remember, she was out earlier in the season with the shoulder injury, so hopefully for her, she is okay holding that right shoulder, that right arm.
See the pink socks for UCLA. They wore pink jerseys, full pink kits the other night as they got that win on Breast Cancer Awareness Night. So keeping the socks going as part of the theme here on the Sunday afternoon affair. Good turn from Jenkins. High centering ball, about 12 yards out, loose to the box and steered away by the Sun Devil. Claire Winter will take a crack. One hopper to Morris.
That was a good build-up and attack by UCLA. I like the variety. We saw a ball in from Jenkins from the outside, a nice cross in, and the ball found its way to Claire Winter, who had all kinds of space in front of her. I like that she was aggressive in that spot and took the shot, tried to test Morris.
Rima Bazia, redshirt freshman from Irvine, working at the left back spot. Sun Devils, though, forced the turnover. Lucy Lara. Alley move. Check it, it's Farquharson with a shot from distance, and that's well over the ball.
If I'm Callie Farquharson, I'm doing just that. I'm going to be aggressive every time I have the ball. I'm going to try to test the goalkeeper. I'm going to try to create things offensively for my team because they really want to get going early in this game.
And the senior out of Shadow Mountain High School, heard her chatting this week about coming back from that hamstring injury. A little bit nervous because you never know exactly how they're going to respond when you finally get out there in game situations at full speed.
And those muscle injuries, just so tough to recover from. Like she said, she's a little nervous because you're not sure once you give it a sprint or have a quick turn on something, how your muscle's going to react. And not to mention just having that game shape. It's tough to be 90-minute fit when you've been out for so long. So Farquharson just really trying to get back to that 90-minute fitness level.
Farquharson had a chance, but completely dispossessed by Winter. UCLA to look to play from the back. So Farquharson's return, Allie Moon able to go after being knocked down against Cal in a collision with the Golden Bears goalkeeper. We mentioned Madison Stark unavailable for Arizona State after she collided with Chandler Morris. So Stark unavailable in this game, and Mackenzie Berryhill not starting this contest for Arizona State. Shot from distance and a goal. The opening there for Cody Love-Ruski, and she takes advantage, ripping it to the top corner. And in the 9th minute, UCLA has a 1-0 lead.
And really just an excellent strike from Love-Ruski, finding all this daylight and space in there. That's a nice seam for her to be in. She loves to play make right in there, just above that defensive line, and really no pressure, nobody even near her. So she takes a crack at it and proves she's very dangerous from that range for UCLA.
We're about 25 yards out. Love-Ruski gets her 3rd of the season and her 2nd in consecutive games, and a goal and an assist Friday in the win on Arizona. Both of those tallies for her, the helper and the score, were on headers on Friday night. That right foot, lethal right now, and it gives UCLA the upper hand.
She's a player that's kind of played all over the place up on that front line. She's been a target forward. She's been on the flanks up at forward. Now she's sitting in, like I said, just behind that defensive back 4 line and in front of their midfield line, and that's a great place for her. She loves to play make from that spot, and as you can see, she had all kinds of space in there.
Had the game-winning goal in that NCAA final win for the Bruins as a sophomore, now gives them the lead here against Arizona State. See how the Sun Devils respond here. They had the lead at USC on Friday and gave it away, now having to work from behind here in Westwood.
And for UCLA, it'll be interesting to see how they react with that goal. Obviously, they had a breakout game offensively, getting 5 goals on Friday night, so it was evident in my conversation with the assistant coach, Josh Walters, that he didn't want them to settle on those 5 goals. He wanted to see the same result here today, and you can see Love-Ruski doing everything she can to continue the streak, just unloading on this shot. As you look at the angle from Chandler Morris, not a real chance for her.
Able to get a bit of the glove on it, but not enough to keep it out. And the Bruins here with the advantage from Drake Stadium in Los Angeles. UCLA looking to make it back-to-back wins here at home. Lada for Farquharson. And they'll call and whistle the foul against UCLA. Free kick coming up.
And this will be a good opportunity for Arizona State, as Lada got in and Claire Winter fouled her. Arizona State's a team that can really punish you on these set pieces. They have a lot of targets in there that are really good in the air.
Low ball. Easy clear for the Bruins.
I don't think she hit that one the way she wanted to. She's got to loft that one and give her team a chance to get on the end of it.
You mentioned the players that are unavailable for Arizona State. Lada is one of the players that's playing on. She turned an ankle and went down in that game against USC, but is up and active for her side today.
She's their team leader in assists, so they're definitely going to need her. As we take a look at the record comparison from last season to this season, in Arizona State They had a great start to 2014, and now in 2015, see struggling a bit. UCLA, they were rolling early in the season, and now they're struggling a bit. So both of these teams really trying to get back on their feet.
Mackenzie Grossman, that center back spot. And now far side, Sun Devils will retreat. Pressure up front. Lavruski giving chase. Sarah Tosti, who had the goal on Friday at USC. And a nice ball from Berryhill to set her up in that tally, working from along the back line.
It was a beautiful goal she had. One-timer with the left foot. And it was a run from the back, so they're going to want to see that here today from her as well.
It'll be Tosti with a free kick from midfield. Senior from Santa Rosa, back home in the Golden State. Pings in front, Tarara. Alyssa Martinez watching Lara keep it.
That was great pressure, great organization by UCLA's defense, really forcing Lara to go back and not the direction that she wanted to. She had a runner out there on the wing, but was unable to find her.
That was Martinez, couldn't keep it in play. Keely Gormley, sophomore from Calgary, Alberta, getting the start for the Sun Devils today. Players seeing initial action, sliding it off Kometko. Had a sliver of daylight, passed on the shot, tried to set up Ali Moon, far side. Moon, cut back, inside the box, cross there. Second chance, buried by Arizona State. Sun Devils respond in short time. Jessica Raby able to deposit it, and it's 1-1.
It didn't really look like there was much out of this last chance for Arizona State, but Ali Moon, a little bit of trickery, able to get that ball in the box where it is dangerous. A little deflection from Farquharson. She couldn't get her foot on it, but it goes right to Jessica Raby, who settles and finishes the volley. Great finish. She had all kinds of time in there. Great composure by Raby.
Second of the season for the sophomore from Lodi, California. And like that, it's 1-1. Yeah, the goal Friday for Arizona State was its first since September 18th. And they get another one here, threatening for another. Weak shot from Farquharson, but it deflects off the UCLA defender, Bazia, and it'll be a corner here for the Sun Devils.
And UCLA, I was just going to comment right before that goal how organized they looked defensively on that back line, and now they're getting shaken up a bit. They've got Bazia in there back there. Proctor started before Friday, Bazia getting her second start of the season, so relatively new to the back line, but they're starting to gel, but they have to be mentally sharp. They have to mark a lot better in the box. So here's a good opportunity for Arizona State.
Be aware, but Annie, just stay.
On the corner. Dangerous ball punched out by Irvin. And we'll do it again from the other side. There's a look at the redshirt freshman from Oslo, Norway, tested here.
Yeah, definitely tested. That's a great read by her. Anytime you go up as a keeper, you have to get a mid on it, and that's exactly what she does.
Again, Irvik playing behind Cassie Sternbach and Ariel Scheckman to begin the year, but getting the call with inconsistencies from the other two. In-swinger this time. Irvik forced to punch it out again, and her defense in front pounds it out to midfield.
It's a good clearance. Get that ball out of the danger zone for UCLA.
Moon settles. Service. Off the bar. Bit of a misread, it seemed, from the UCLA keeper. I think she thought it was going to go wide.
Some shaky moments there for the back line for UCLA. A little bit lackadaisical back there. A lot of these good chances coming from the outside, this time on the corner ball. Hits the crossbar. Lavruski able to clear it out again, coming from that flank. The defenders are just getting caught ball watching and not marking. And that's one of the things I said that's going to be key for UCLA. They have to be sharp defensively. Just little simple things like marking your man on a cross. They cannot become undone.
Throw in from Martinez. Kevin Boyd has to be ecstatic with the response from his team after giving up one in the first 10-minute stretch to come back and equalize in short fashion. And he told us before the game, after the loss, losing a lead at USC, he had what you would term a passionate conversation with his team after the match, trying to send a message that their play in this losing streak was a little bit unacceptable, and then had individual player meetings with each of the players over the course of the last 48 hours. And sometimes those are difficult for a player to swallow. Right now, they've come back to tie this game up.
And they are really pressing UCLA, and definitely the response that Coach Boyd wanted. And sometimes you need that from your coach. You need to light a fire under your team again. Obviously, he has a talented squad. They've proven that they can get things done, especially in the first part of the season. So he's just trying to get things going again. He felt the biggest takeaway from their loss at SC was just really lack of effort. And he has to be pleased with what he's seeing right now from his squad. And
again, we've run down the litany of injuries that ASU has dealt with, and talked to any coach in the conference, and they certainly feel for Kevin Boyd. May not be able to control injuries, not necessarily can control breaks, but effort's something you can control. Through ball for Raby from Farquharson. UCLA calmly handling that. Secondary chance. Her ball headed out. And that, I think, was the point he was trying to emphasize with his team, and the effort, at least since UCLA scored, has been there. Now the Bruins, Sun Devils, kind of really swarming to the ball since they equalized. And now let's see about the UCLA response.
Well, absolutely, they definitely have been the aggressor since that UCLA goal.
Another crack from distance, slides wide. Amanda Cromwell looking on, pleased with the movement, composure, good on the ball against Arizona, something that they hadn't had. And her kind of theme to us this week was we can't sustain any kind of momentum, and that's kind of symbolic of what we saw. You get the lead and all of a sudden you give it right back.
Yes, and I think they were pleased obviously with the way things went Friday night. Maybe not necessarily the case here today, as ASU was able to come back and tie this one. But for UCLA, in their games, especially the last few conference matches, there was no mobility up front. So that has been a big problem. They weren't able to keep the ball and have possession. And Coach Cromwell said, hey, look, a lot of people are pointing the fingers at our defense, but I think it's a total team effort. We have to keep the ball, and that way our defenders can rest a bit. We can have different movements off the ball, and once we possess, that's our best defense.
Some of those turnovers have come in bad spots. Opponents able to pounce. Centering ball, Butterly. Jenkins trying to float free on the near side, but deflected away, and now a counter opportunity for Farquharson and the Sun Devils. Sliding it forward, Raby. Madison Ty defending for the Bruins. Good 1v1 battle won by Raby. Entering the 18th, centering ball, Moon stumbled on it, and it trickles wide.
You have to applaud the effort by Kmetko as she made that run on that right flank, really ran down the ball. Excuse me, that's Jessica Raby out there. That was a good idea to shield the ball out for the UCLA defense, but you have to get it out. You cannot let the offensive players steal the ball there, because as you could see, it proved to be very dangerous for Arizona State.
You see Darian Jenkins checking out and holding that right shoulder, getting some attention for the training staff. Lauren Caskey has checked in to spell her.
That's not good news for the Bruins. Darian Jenkins, probably their hottest offensive threat as of late. She's their goal leader with 4 on the season.
3 coming in the previous 2 games for the Bruins. So we'll see if she is able to return again. Eligible for re-entry one time in the second half. Sun Devils continuing to put pressure on. Lotta. Cross for Whitney Knable.
Max, keep looking over your shoulder.
Kometko trying to slide another one through for Moon. Corner coming up.
Here's a good look at Jenkins as she goes down, and it almost looked like it was her ankle, but then grabs her right shoulder. Just an awkward collision there as she collided with the Arizona State defender, holding that right shoulder. And again, we mentioned she had a shoulder injury.
Off the corner. Couple of headers for the Bruins. Weak shot attempt in front from ASU. And now the Sun Devils look to control and build it back. Martinez, nifty little ball. And it trickles through off of UCLA, so another Arizona State corner coming up.
They are really turning on the pressure against this UCLA back line. Another lofted ball from the outside, and that's working for Arizona State. They're seeing a lot of quality chances being created from either set pieces from the outside, a corner from the outside, or crosses in.
Rachel O'Meter checking in for ASU.
Annie, just step to your left. Annie, just step to your left. Right there, right there. Right here, ladies.
Here's the corner from Love. Another dangerous in-swinger. That's headed out, but off the Sun Devils. Goal kick ahead. '24th minute, 1-1 here between UCLA and Arizona State. Jason App, Tracy Bailey, our Pac-12 Networks crew.
Officials timeout on the pitch.
And now we will have water break here with the heat in the mid to upper 90s on this Sunday afternoon. Referees mandating a water break in each half, so they'll take it here for a stretch, give the coaches a chance to talk to their teams and for us to revisit some of the early play.
And for UCLA, this water break couldn't have come at a better time. They need to regroup here. As you could see, Arizona State just really creating a ton of quality chances, hitting the post for the second time in the match. And again, crosses from the outside right now are killing this back line of UCLA. They have to be more organized back there. Ball tight, touch tight with the player. They cannot let these runners just run freely marked.
Amanda Cromwell with some points of emphasis for her team as you look at the current conference standings. Stanford the only unbeaten thus far. Washington State's had some late game magic as part of their great beginnings, and USC rather 3-1 at the start of day's play.
Just a lot of parity again in the Pac-12 conference. I feel like we say that time and time again, but this season even more so. Last season, Stanford, UCLA, probably the outright favorite. This season, Stanford's the favorite, but there's a lot mixed up right after Stanford, in my opinion.
In this Arizona State team, maybe the most dangerous 0-4 team in conference you'll ever see. The goals in this one? Well, a beautiful one here from Cody Lavruski to begin.
Just a gorgeous strike with all kinds of time by Cody Lavruski here. Just so dangerous from the outside and unmarked by the ASU defense. And then from then on, it was all Arizona State. A great move by Allie Moon, and it deflects. As you could say there, Jessica Raby had time to settle and volley this one home. Great composure in there in front of the net, able to get the equalizer.
So Cody Lavruski, Jessica Raby, the goal scorers, knotted at 1 here in Westwood. Goal kick coming up for Irvik and UCLA.
It'll be interesting to see how UCLA comes out after this break. Obviously, under normal conditions, you don't get that little extra 5 minutes of coaching, able to go to the sideline and really get their game plan together. from Coach Cromwell.
One smacked over the goal line. Again, 95 or so at game time here in Westwood. Feels like we're in Tempe.
Oh, it is hot out there. I joke with Coach Kevin Boyd saying, hey, you brought the heat with you. He just laughed, but it is hot, especially down there on the field. Not much wind, so it's a hot, dry heat with not much relief.
Mackenzie Berryhill, all Pac-12 performer, first team last year, checking into Spellata, and they'll play Berryhill in the midfield. She was victimized defending on Friday, tripped over the ball in a bad spot, about 20 yards out in front of the goal. And a USC player able to take the ball, storm in, beat Morris, and put the women of Troy ahead to stay. So Berryhill works off the bench in this game in the midfield.
Obviously a great sign to see her back in action for the Sun Devils. She has a lot of experience back there on the back line, and as you said, now she's playing more of a defensive center mid role. But in that game on Friday, she was undercut and went down and hurt her left wrist, and then late in the game it was a tackle and she seemed to go down holding her right ankle. So they probably want to be sure she can go and put her in a defensive center mid role versus a center back role that she's used to seeing.
And that ankle getting tapped mightily here. Josh Beaumont, the athletic trainer, and Kareem Sharway, the team doctor, they've been the most active members of the traveling party for Arizona State of late with this issue of injuries. Sun Devils, Grossman trying to play it forward from Moon. And settling here are the Bruins.
This is where UCLA just has to start to possess. Right now, Arizona State really holding most of the possession, especially in their offensive third. UCLA's got to find the ball and keep it.
Trying to send one forward for the Bruins. Taken away nicely by Omida.
Just a great shield by Omida. Keep Mackenzie Serta off the ball.
Serta. And looking to send it forward. Grossman scampering back, but a throw-in coming for the Bruins. Gorowski, 5 assists this year for UCLA. She's got the throw-in, including a couple in that 5-goal flurry for the Bruins on Friday.
And UCLA is most dangerous when they can come at you in a variety of different ways. And Gorowski, a main piece of that puzzle, that offensive puzzle they've been trying to solve. When she gets forward, she usually can beat the defender and get in line, and she just serves beautiful crosses into the blocks for UCLA.
Saw the umbrellas out today. There's no rain here, just a little sunblock for the fans here at Drake Stadium.
Yeah, I don't think they use umbrellas for rain here, mostly just for sun, shade.
Kometko, tough touch. Taken away by the Bruins. Serta. Gorowski, good footwork, open spot. And Mutterlin watching it go the other way for Farquharson. Trying to turn in front, dropped, and this will be a free kick and a good spot for the Sun Devils.
And you can just see how dangerous Farquharson is, that burst of speed. Everybody calls her a slippery player. And that's exactly why. Just able to turn it on and turn it into another gear. Hallie Mace for UCLA, not much she could do except for foul her in that situation, because Callie Farquharson was about to blow by.
39 career goals, second of the all-time Arizona State list. Top 10 among active players in Division I of the NCAA. Farquharson standing over this free kick.
She's definitely going on goal for this one.
4-player wall right into the heart of it. Second chance, just wide.
Definitely not the first strike she wanted, but you have to applaud the second effort as the ball makes its way right back at her. And not a bad strike for Farquharson. She keeps it down. She just misses wide right. Good looking strike from Farquharson on that second effort.
Farquharson will check out right now. A couple of subs coming on for Arizona State, including Mackenzie Semerad and also Larissa Staub. We'll get a little action here in the 30th minute. Raby has the goal for ASU. Moon. Edge of the box. Urvik watching that one sail out of play. And Kevin Boyd going to the bench a ton here first half. 2 more will come on. Jasmine Mader, Natalie Stevens will both see some time. Raby and Moon both headed to the bench.
Again, lots of substitutions expected here on a Sunday match, on a typical Sunday match. And for Arizona State, even more so with that rough battle they had on Friday. A lot of players banged up and bruised. And again, the weather as a factor. I bet we're going to continue to see more subs.
Talked about Arizona State trying to get back into the picture in conference, including this game, 5 of their last 7 in conference play, all on the road. So needing really to get a positive result here from this outing in Westwood. Winter dumped. That was Stevens with a foul. There it is. Oh, it's 97.
It's climbing.
Have we told you it's hot?
Forecast hot.
And again, it feels much like it would in Tempe, but just uncharacteristic here. Really any time, but especially at this time of the year. Headed towards mid-October. It's deflected out. Corner coming up for the Bruins.
And on the UCLA campus, you're used to getting some kind of relief from that ocean air, that ocean breeze, but not the case today. As Coach Cromwell wants to see her team do something with this great opportunity.
Can we call somebody about the breeze, get them to turn it on?
Please, something.
Players, I'm sure, would like that as well. Bruins on the corner. They scored first. Sun Devils scored last.
Stop.
Low ball, dummy run, left open. They had a wide open look for Lavruski, but she whiffed on. And now counter chance, numbers here for the Sun Devils. Mader, Gorowski and company with a great coverage play.
What an excellent recovery run from Zoe Gorowski right there, number 26 for UCLA. Jasmine Mader has some speed on her. So for Gorowski to catch up with her, it took a great effort. And here's their corner opportunity. You can bet this is a scripted play. The dummy to Cody Lavruski, and she just times her shot there, and Arizona State had it on. You could see 4 players coming in on this transition, this counterattack. Look at Gorowski there hustling back.
Madison Ty helped clean it up as well defensively, but a lot of the legwork by Gorowski, who steamrolled back to help intercept things.
She is such a fit player. You see her going end to end really for this UCLA team. She's that right back, that right defender who is able to get forward and really start to create things for UCLA offensively.
Yeah, there's been a ton of flux along that back line for the Bruins, but she's been the one constant really here in 2015. Alvarado trying to push forward for the Bruins.
And I really thought that game last season when they were at Arizona State, that 1-1 tie, she was that difference maker for UCLA. UCLA was down a goal. Gorowski came in and really played forward, but again was able to get in line and get some crosses off and create some great chances for UCLA.
And that was a 1-all draw last year in Tempe. UCLA 16-1-1 all time against ASU. Only Sun Devil team to get a win in the series back in 2000, and that is to the consternation.
Oh, geez.
The woman playing in that game and sitting to my right. You remember that day, Tracy?
Oh, I do remember that day. It wasn't a good one, let me tell you. I remember Coach Jill Ellis giving us some nice choice words after that one. That was the year we made it to the NCAA championship there. As you can see, UCLA leads the series 16-1-1 and unbeaten in their last 14 meetings. That was the last game of the season. We thought that our #1 seed was going to go away, but lucky for us, the game was late enough. I don't think it came into play.
Yet both of these teams, NCAA tournament squads from a year ago. Funny, the memories from certain games kind of stand out.
Oh, yeah.
The highest of highs and sometimes the lowest of lows.
I don't remember many of the wins that we had, but I do remember that loss.
Kevin Boyd, season 9 at Arizona State, has this team again. The program rolling in the right direction, even if this season has kind of taken a turn for the worse for the moment. But again, this team dead even with UCLA right now. And certainly they have the capabilities of coming through. We mentioned 7 straight losses, but they're all the teams that are or have been ranked in the top 35 of the country. They've played a grueling schedule so far here in 2015, much like UCLA has.
They were really rolling. You can just sense the frustration from Coach Boyd because obviously they had so much potential, but plenty of games left in conference for this Arizona State team to turn things around.
A couple of weeks ago, first half against Stanford, so she's done for the year, and more importantly for her, done for her career. Senior from Highlands Ranch, Colorado, another key holding player for the Sun Devils. Be unfortunate, won't be able to watch her perform on the pitch here the rest of her Sun Devil career.
Just devastating for her, I'm sure, as a senior to go out like that.
Borowski getting involved. Nice ball forward, overlapping back. Low centering ball, deflected up. Looked like a handball, no call. That's off an ASU head, so it'll be a corner coming up.
And it's no doubt in my mind that was a handball. As you can see, Goralski doing what she does well, getting in line and getting that cross off in for UCLA, and it just bounces up and hits Grossman in the hand. That's a handball there. As it makes its way up, hits her hand and goes back down to the ground. Arizona State getting away with one there.
Jonas Marachi, the referee did not see it that way. No flag up assistance from either of the assistant referees, so it'll be a corner. Sent back to that far side. Secondary ball, floated. Lavruski trying to get a head on it. And Taylor Kuhn, sophomore from Sunset High School in Portland, who's checked in among a myriad of subs here for the Sun Devils, punching it out. Goralski. Good idea from Winter, but nobody home on the receiving end of that flick. And the turnover leads to another counter opportunity for ASU. Staub's ball, though, picked off. Alert play by Bazia to read it and steal it.
Both teams really trying to get a hold of the ball here.
Semarat.
Great work by Konkol Morchakowski.
Yeah, the senior from Malibu.
Just can't have those giveaways in the middle of the field for UCLA.
Semarat will tee it up and pulled wide. Well, coming up at halftime, Pac-12 soccer halftime report. How about big doings? Number 1 versus number 2 showdown from the ACC. Also a big-time SEC battle there for LSU and Florida. We'll also have some women's volleyball action from around the Pac-12. Kate Rooney will have that and more coming up here at the break. Don't know if Kate will have her umbrella out in the studio, but they are all over here to stay in any sort of shade you can find in Westwood.
Hot commodity.
See what you did there? It is hot.
You like that one, huh?
40th minute here, about 5 minutes away from the break. Umbrellas wild, along with 1 to the scoreboard here for the Sun Devils and the Bruins. Jason Dapp, Tracy Bailey, glad to have you along here for this key matchup. 2 teams picked to finish in the top 5 in conference in the preseason, but both having issues at times early in the season in getting the desired results. And a UCLA team that won its last outing to get back to 500, which after the run of success here, somewhat surprising, slips through. Stevens keeps the run going and finally loses possession. Rusky tried to save it, can't. Since we've been deadlocked at 1-1, Tracy, who would you say has had the better run of play?
I think Arizona State has. They've maintained possession for more time, and they've really created more dangerous opportunities, really finding that flank space, able to get services off. For UCLA, we've seen them a couple times at their best and really having their most dangerous opportunities come from that same flank space, but we're just not seeing it enough from UCLA.
Mervick, big boot upfield. Kanko Mrachowski. That's steered away. Another UCLA throw-in. Mackenzie Grossman looking on, one of 3 Mackenzies that have been on this roster the last handful of years here for the Sun Devils. This time it's an ASU thrower. Mater. 1v2 for the moment. Does enough to get a corner out.
Absolutely, and that's all you need from Jasmarie Mater right there on the flank, working hard. She's a player that I can see have a bright future for this Arizona State team. She has 2 goals on the season. Just working it down that flank, and she raises her hand. I think she's either gassed or has some kind of play in mind for this corner that she created.
Tosti looking like she was going to tee it up, and she'll leave it off.
Yeah, relax, we got you.
I believe that's Grossman coming up. Let's see who ends up taking this as a UCLA player is getting some attention. I believe that is Goralski.
I think it is, as she takes
Nothing here.
a knee.
Let's go, Les!
UCLA going to go to the bench.
UCLA substitution, number 17 for the Alyssa Alarab, number 26.
Alyssa Alarab will come in to spell Goralski here.
You can see Goralski trying to get back on Jasmarie Mater right there. Just trying to do what she can and deflects that ball out of bounds. Maybe just trying to catch her breath on this hot day.
There's a look at Goralski. Getting started every game this season for UCLA. Off the corner, steered back out of play. A second throw in here for the Bruins. And Alarab taking Goralski's spot and right back. Kanko Mrachowski.
And that right there is what UCLA needs. They need that target forward. Just hold the ball and allow some runners to get up there with them. So good work by Christiana Konko-Morchikowski for UCLA.
Gabrielle Matlich, player fouled for the Bruins. Quick restart on the free kick.
And again, just a bad decision by UCLA. They have to be sharper there. They cannot give that ball away. That's a simple pass to the outside. And if you can't get it there, use your left back.
Good ball, center of the park, but turned over. Berryhill trying to feather one through. And it'll be escorted out for a goal kick.
It's a good recovery that time for UCLA by Bazia. Jasmarie Mater, though, for Arizona State, working both flanks.
Get a lot of subs in this game with the Heat. Both teams going deep into the bench on a Sunday afternoon here in Westwood. 1-1 between the Sun Devils and Bruins. Final minute of play here, the opening 45. Turnover. ASU fortunate that hopped back hard to Morris.
I know it's hot, but I'd like to see UCLA apply some more high pressure. Really try to put this Arizona State back line under more pressure.
Stevens. Staub tried to play it outside. Berryhill stumbling, and Irving able to save it along the end line.
That shot by Berryhill definitely didn't go the way she had planned.
5, 4,
Time winding down here, and we are through one half at one apiece.
And that's the first half with the score tied at 1.
Sun Devils and Bruins here will get a little refreshment and get ready to have some conversations with their respective coaching staffs and get back to it. Amanda Cromwell of UCLA is with us. Amanda, offensive explosion for you Friday night with the 5 goals. You get one here early. What did you think about the overall performance of the half?
It's not good enough. Our possession is really lacking. They're doing a really good job of funneling us to one side and trying to lock us in. And we have to find the weak side, whether it's the back or the midfield. It's on. We just can't find it right now.
In Arizona State, as you said, seemingly having most of the possession. What's it going to take defensively to get the ball?
Well, I mean, as long as they possess it not in dangerous areas, what they do is hit some early long crosses from the mid-range of the half, and they look for the weak side every time. And we showed that on video tons of times, and we're just not applying the information that we know about them. And the girls have to do a better job. I know they're hot, but so is Arizona State. They may be more used to it, but we got to suck it up.
All right, get out of the sun for a minute. Stay cool, Amanda. Thanks for the time. Amanda Cromwell with us. Her team in a battle here, as they figured they would be against this Arizona State team that's performed a bit subpar, but certainly has plenty of potential. 1-1 here between the Sun Devils and the Bruins. So Farquharson will be in that starting unit. 5 goals to lead the team. Kevin Boyd, so you heard him talk, liking the effort. Said, maybe it had a little bit of an omen. This team's lost 7 in a row. This morning at breakfast, Jerry's Deli said, you know how bad it is for us right now? He goes, waiter spilled syrup all over my pant leg. The team thought, much like a bird dropping an offering from the heavens that hits you, it might be a good luck charm today. So far, so good for his team to play even at UCLA in the first half.
When it rains, it just pours for ASU. But like you said, hopefully it's a good sign of things to change for the Sun Devils.
Yeah, he's been around a long time and understands, again, so sometimes things are beyond your control, but really trying to get his team to focus in on the one thing they can control. That's the effort level, and it's been, as he said, as good as it's been in a long time for this unit.
I totally agree, and that's the good thing for them. It's something that they can improve on and change and see an immediate effect. So for Arizona State, I definitely like the way they came out after they were scored on. So we'll have to see if that continues here in the second half.
And for Amanda Cromwell, her thoughts to us as they headed to the locker room and trying to possess better, and again, just not good enough for her team. And again, they were very in tune as a unit on Friday in the 5-1 win against Arizona. But trying to put all the pieces together for this group. And it starts for them with this back line again and trying to build things forward.
Well, absolutely, and it's a total team effort. They have to possess, Coach said, in order to give some relief to that back line, to give them some confidence. As you see Darian Jenkins making a great run down the flank for UCLA. So she's back in the match after going out with a shoulder injury. Good news for the Bruins, but they need to possess more too up top. We didn't see a lot of working together as a unit, that front line. We didn't call Amber Munnerlin's name at all, I don't think, in the first half. So for UCLA, that has to change.
Bazia with the step up, but gives it back. Kametko floating one forward. Ervik off her line to make the play.
And Coach Boyd said, hey, that was working in the first half. Those services in from the flank, we want to see it again in the second half. So he has to be pleased because those balls are just so dangerous in there. Just tough to keep an eye on the ball player and keep marking them for the defense for UCLA. And they've struggled a bit there with those crosses.
Serta trying to time a run, but the ball never got there. Broken up. And now Serta running back to win it back. Was Claire Winter. Got knocked to the turf, trying to set that push forward up for the Bruins, and has it back.
Look how far back Arizona State's defense is sitting. I mean, Annie Alvarado for UCLA, #2 in there, just had all kinds of daylight and space. This is what you need to do. You need to dribble at them. Try to eat up some of that space and force a defender to come check you.
Well, as you alluded to before, and I'm sure Amanda Cromwell is tired of talking about it, the teams from the last 2 years, that unit played so in sync that when you see a UCLA team that's trying to find itself, it just looks like a stark reminder of how good the unit from the past 2 years has been.
Well, definitely, and it's no question that this team is so athletic and they have so much talent. But it is a question in terms of their experience because, like you said, most of those seniors that graduated last year were starters since their freshman season.
Chance here, low shot. Morris diving left, can't hold it. Now the play for a corner for UCLA.
So for UCLA, I think it's just going to take a lot more time under their belts to get that experience. As you see this last chance for Winter, just a shot in there. Morris doesn't come up with it clean. And it creates a good cornered opportunity for UCLA.
Morris over there as an option on the corner for the Bruins. Sent to the edge of the 6. Kametko with a head on it. Lucilata. And just knocked up out of play at midfield by the Sundowners. That'll be a clear foul on Arizona State. Serta dumped.
And that's a good look for UCLA. The space is there, but they didn't have those runners checking back into the space to receive the ball. So good news for UCLA. They're starting to see some more movement up top. Serta able to create the foul.
And the foul on Taylor Kuhn. That quick deflection off the free kick. Sun Devils possess. Linda Gutierrez, a big collision near side.
Things getting a little physical in there.
That's Winter, who's hit the turf a couple of times here in the first 5 minutes, second half. Winter continuing to see more time here in conference and jumping into a starting role. Bazia can't save it. Goal kick ASU.
It was a good idea by UCLA to try to find Bazia there as she made that run through on the flank just a little bit too late. That passing lane wasn't as wide open as it was just a few seconds before. Goal
kick from Morris, bit short. It's part of soccer game that's continued to evolve for Arizona State. Always good shot stopper. Should be another crack here on the 6-yard.
And if I'm UCLA and I just saw that last goal kick, I'm going to be ready.
See where this one ends up. Trying to slide it wide, but read by Jenkins. Crafty little flick from Lada for Moon.
Watch your line! Keep your line! Watch your right!
Left-footed centering ball.
Get it up! Get it up!
Steered away.
I'm with you! I'm with you! Good ball!
Serta running onto that lead feed. Working against Gutierrez. Looking to turn it. Cross. Just on the top side of the netting.
It was a good idea by Serta, but unfortunately for her, she's the only player down there for UCLA. It seemed to me that the ball was in the corner for a few seconds and would enable a couple of teammates to run on and get in the box. No true runner, but the cross was a little off from Serta. UCLA has got to get more numbers going forward.
Moon. Metco slotting it forward. Farquharson trying to sling it around the defender. And Haley Mace. But off of count.
A nice try there by Farquharson, but unfortunately for her, Mace is one of the fastest player, if not the fastest player on this UCLA team.
And it's a Bruin player down. That's Bazia.
Stay on the ball. Stay.
Looks like she's holding her right knee there as the ball gets played in. Bazia running after it with Kometko. It looks like the ball's bouncing and they just hit knee to knee. Holding that right knee is Bazia.
Training staff from the Bruins out to check on the redshirt freshman. Got her first career start in the conference opener against Oregon.
Hey, do you guys want water?
Cromwell
Back.
will be plotting who will come on if she needs to come off. Well, we've got a moment. Let's talk about more soccer ahead as Bazia looks to gather herself. Thursday, another thrilling soccer game for the women here in the Pac-12. Arizona State matched up on the road in Seattle against the top 25 team in number 19 Washington. Women's Soccer Game of the Week coverage begins Thursday at 7 on Pac-12 Network, or watch on Pac-12 Now and pac-12.com. So a short week of prep for ASU as they get ready to run up to the Pacific Northwest.
This conference schedule really takes a toll on you as a player. And we all know that the level of competition is very high. And to play 2 matches in a week and then to have one less recovery day for Arizona State, it's a tough turnaround.
We good?
So Bazia had to come off for a moment, runs back to midfield and is allowed to return, trotting back to her spot at outside back.
It's really good to see her back there for UCLA. She's a player that really has been the missing puzzle piece, I think, for UCLA as they moved Mace into the center back position. She was formerly out wide for the Bruins.
Kometko trying to run towards the end line and cracked that last touch too strong. Again, certainly no question, plenty of talent on this Bruins roster, but that's sort of the coaching puzzle, trying to figure out where all those pieces best fit, and it's been somewhat head-scratching. You know, for Amanda Cromwell, the last 2 years, you could have just had the same piece of paper with a starting lineup for the most part and just handed it in. And this year, not only personnel, but also formation-wise, they've messed around with 3-5-2, 3-4-3 they've used a couple of times. Today, that 4-2-3-1. And again, that can change and morph in the course of a game, but certainly always trying to structure what you want to do against what your opposition is going to put out there.
Absolutely, and it's so tough when you have to keep changing that back line for UCLA. As you just look at the Bruins soccer resume, 21-1-2 last season, lost in the NCAA quarterfinals to Virginia, Coach Cromwell's former team that she played for. Just really trying to find that success this season. And like I said, this UCLA team needs to create their own identity and not get caught in the shadows from the previous teams. This team is very talented. They just have to have that confidence and that mentality to go with it.
Get a team that I think a lot of people would have thought in the preseason would have some growing pains, but a team that you don't want to have to play in the latter stages of the season, that they can put it all together. And the same goes, I think, for Arizona State. If this team can get a little more healthy, even though they're getting supreme effort from the ones on the field today, and they can get a little more healthy, they've got the potential to put a scare in some people down the stretch. But it starts here and now for both. Critical game on the docket for two teams trying to work towards the upper half of the conference standings. 1-1 here. Lavruski first for UCLA. And the response from Jessica Raby for ASU. Farquharson at midfield. Chipping it forward.
Get there.
Raby.
Get it up. Man on.
Goralski there.
Good job, G. Stop.
Jenkins on the far side, trying to be involved. Kuhn.
And right here is where UCLA can get a hold of it, really get organized, and possess the ball. There's Munnerlin there, that target forward. She's got to do a better job of holding on to the ball. That is her job as that lone player at the top of their formation.
Another touch for Munnerlin. Unsuccessful. Lada. For Ali Moon. Good step up defensively for the Bruins. Excellent speed from Haley Mace, as Tracy talked about, maybe the fastest player on this team, and able to move in rhythm with the ball, but fouling it after the play went sideways.
And that's what you can get from Mace, moving into that center back position alongside Ty for UCLA. As Mace is able to go forward, she knows that Ty is able to cover for her, and vice versa.
Take it down.
Jenkins can't save it on the side.
Jason, it seems like in this half, really both teams trying to find a rhythm, try to string a few passes together. Just unable to do so.
The speedy Jenkins has a step, cutting it inside. Munnerlin went outside. Jenkins keeping the pass going. Winter. See that play develop. Ball is spot on from Jenkins. Goralski. Good idea, but couldn't do much with it.
Great idea that time by UCLA, trying to switch the field, and they did so quickly with Jenkins's ball. She put out there to Goralski on a dime. Just a perfect ball with perfect pace. Able to find Goralski, and that's who you want with the ball out there on the flank for UCLA. Unfortunately for her and her team, just unable to get the cross off.
Christina Rabata, senior from Petaluma, California, checking in for the first time for Arizona State. So again, Kevin Boyd going deep into his bench first half, and again here. Low shot, Ervik handles it from Farquharson.
But again, something that we definitely expected, and I'm sure Coach Cromwell is expecting. So again, UCLA just has to find a rhythm. They really aren't producing much in their final third since that goal. But credit Arizona State, they look very organized on this back line, really preventing UCLA from creating with each other.
And if you believe Kevin Boyd, as he talked with us throughout the week, part of Arizona State's kind of success and togetherness is when 17 is on the field. When Farquharson's on the field, this team really believes. And he said that was a noticeable thing to have her back on the practice field all week long, having her in that outing at USC, even though it didn't result in a win. And this team believes when they've got that ultimate goal-scoring threat up front. Free kick here for the Bruins. Alvarado ready to take it.
Hold it.
Driving ball. The header from Grossman kept it out of harm's way.
And as Winter went down in the box, assistant coach Josh Walters with his hands up, wanting a foul there, but an excellent driven ball in from Alvarado.
Inline opportunity not there. Here's another look at the last sequence.
Just drives this in there, and looks like Winter does get tripped up before the ball even gets there. Looks accidental though to me. I think a good choice by the referee to let that one go.
And tangling with Rabada, who just entered the game for ASU. Lauer, step over. Alvarado back to help tip that out. We're going to hear that substitution horn, I believe, a lot here like we did in the first half and the second half. Martinez will come in to spell the freshman Gutierrez. '61st minute. 1-1 between the Sun Devils and the Bruins. Ervik.
It's a good call by the referee. I saw that one the whole way as Claire Winter was trying to go up to win that goal kick. Just had two hands in the back.
Lara. Raby trying to turn in space. Ball onside for Moon. Trying to set up the cross. Deflected away. Long ball. Ervik escorts it over the bar.
Just excellent defending by Bazia against Allie Moon, who's one of Arizona State's craftier players. She was able to stand Moon up.
This game's hit a little bit of a lull, if you will, here early second half.
It really has, and again, I say both teams really not finding their passes, not combining, not able to string passes together, finding a rhythm. And really this game is up for anyone's taking. The score is 1-1, so I'd like to see more urgency out of either side on the pitch.
Thank you, sir. Set it.
Have been a handful of fouls here in the second half that have kind of chopped up the fluidity as well. Last one by Taylor Kuhn.
It really has, and I say more energy as I sit under a tarp up here as I watch these players work really hard on a hot day in the sun.
Again, 95 plus at game start, and the temperature wrapping up here in Westwood. It was much like we're playing in Tempe. Again, this substitution pattern should continue. The umbrella's a handy accessory today. There's Mader, who gave ASU some good moments. Farquharson coming out for the moment.
She hands Mader the captain's armband. With a player like Callie Farquharson, though, it's the gift and the curse when she goes out with an injury. You love to have that go-to goal scorer if you're ASU or any team for that matter. But when she goes down and misses a lot of games, it really messes up the rhythm of the team, and you wonder who's going to step up, who's going to be that difference maker, and who's going to replace the missing Farquharson. And for Arizona State, they've struggled a bit with that.
And again, that's about where she checked out first half, and Kevin Boyd has the opportunity to get her a rest here and bring her back, one would suspect, at a moment here in the second half.
Really need to monitor her minutes closely. You don't want her to be fatigued out there and risk further injuring that hamstring.
Tosti with a free kick. Chipped inside the 6. Headed up, not out. And that is Jenkins again, and holding that right arm in a similar position to what she had when she went out in the first half.
That is not a good look for Jenkins. You don't want to see her get injured here, but look at how she gets up and is able to defend and get that ball out of danger. And you can see she just landed again awkwardly on that right arm, that right shoulder.
And then putting her arm down to brace herself. And again, coming up, holding that right limb. And now Bazia trying to gather herself after that last clearance. Again, she was dinged up earlier, but still powering on here for the Bruins. She's on the ball defending now. Natalie Stevens returning for UCLA.
Little touch from Jenkins.
Winter down. Munnerlyn still has possession, so we play on. And now, after losing it, there is the whistle.
Arizona State foul.
And that's a good look from Munnerlyn. I like that she's able to keep the ball there, but I think it's just one too many touches for her. And maybe that's because she didn't have much help up there. So UCLA's got to do a better job of support and supporting that target player once they get that ball on top. They can't hold it for that long. They're going to get closed down, so she needs options up there.
A couple of goals and an assist for Munnerlyn here in her junior campaign.
Munnerlyn, another player for UCLA. I've been waiting to have a breakout game. I really see a lot of potential in her. She's got great size, got a great body, and she can really hold the ball well for UCLA. She's their transfer from North Carolina. Just really hasn't gotten going yet this season.
67th minute, one apiece, Sun Devils and Bruins. In Arizona State, been close, been beset by injuries, been battling hard, trying to snap a 7-game slide after such a strong, promising beginning to the campaign. Subs for UCLA, Gabby Miranda, who's come back this weekend after missing some time for the Bruins, coming in, and Christiana Kunkel-Rochikowski will get some more playing time. There's a look at Miranda. Charlie Horse was the initial injury. Tried to play with it the following weekend. It really swelled up. Amanda Cromwell says she hadn't seen an injury of that caliber get worse like it did for Miranda. She missed almost a month of time, but able to slide back in and give the Bruins minutes off the bench this weekend.
And really just a devastating blow for UCLA to this back line, because she's a player that they really saw as a prominent figure back there in that back line for UCLA. She's got youth national team experience, She's a very smart player, has good pace. So to have her back in the lineup is a good sign for UCLA.
Mater playing it off, and the shot from distance is wide. And I believe we're going to get our second water break. Had one of the first half due to the extreme conditions, and another one coming here. While we've got a moment, the Pac-12 Conference announcing some all-century teams in various sports throughout their 100 years of existence, including women's soccer, which was released. They had a vote of some prominent soccer folks. Over 60-plus players were on the ballot. They selected a whole unit and then the starting 11. I mean, you can have discussions about this forever. That's what's great about it, but this is some stout players on this starting 11.
Oh, absolutely. Look at these names here. Lauren Cheney, now Holiday, Kristen Press, Kelly O'Hara, Julie Foudy. I mean, a lot of these players obviously have national team experience. The most recent graduate from the Pac-12 Conference, you see in the back line there, Abby Dahlkemper. What a lineup.
Absolutely. Leslie Gallimore, great player during her time, now coaching strong, of course, at Washington. Again, here are the players from both of these respective institutions that are here. And you see the highlighted players. Wonder why UCLA is going through some growing pains this year. 3 of those players, the all-century team, were members of last year's roster.
And a lot of talent graduated with that senior class. They saw 9 starters graduate from last season. 7 of those 9 starters are playing in the Women's Professional League. So huge voids to fill for UCLA.
And it's amazing. You look at Amanda Cromwell, and again, putting all those pieces in the right spot this year, but what a luxury to have. And you could go through all those players, but it's kind of like a symphony. You know, when everything is working, it's beautiful. All the pieces are working in time. And when one little piece goes awry, everything kind of goes, and that's what she's been dealing with this year.
She certainly has been, and she has the pieces that can work. It's just, again, putting the right pieces in the right places. And for UCLA, I kind of thought they had their moment on Friday as a moment to look back on as a turning point. But again, here, it seems like they were settling for just getting 1 goal. I'd like to see them more hungry out there, and they can start to pull things together, start to have positive things happen for them again. I think they're going to be on the upside.
All those players that we showed you, and all the players from last year's team that you mentioned are playing professionally. Is there one that sticks out that you think they missed the most?
I think it's got to be Abby Dahlkemper. She was just so solid back there, and you and I were chatting before the match, and how important that piece of the puzzle is for any team. And when you don't talk about them a lot, if they're playing that center back position, that's a good thing for the team. She's just a player that was so smart, so athletic, so gifted, so talented back there. But also offensively, she provided so much for the team that you really can't notice unless you really know the game. She was able to send balls 60 yards and find her forwards on through passes and send balls on a dime. So it's just really going to be tough to fill that void for UCLA. But you know what? I think they have a talented bunch here. If they can just get things going and tune things up a bit, I think they'll be all right.
Turnover. Potential dangerous opportunity, but squandered there by the Sun Devils. They tried to play it wide. Stevens looking to make the smart play, and it wasn't there for ASU. You looked at the possession, and Amanda Cromwell happy with how they possessed against Arizona. Not as pleased when we heard from her at halftime, but so many times in the last couple of years, UCLA would play, and it looked like they were playing half-court soccer because they dominated. They had the ball and the pressure on the opponent's final third for the majority of the time, trying to build all that together.
And even when they didn't necessarily have the ball in the final third, a lot of times they just kept the ball, and that's going to wear a team down. When you have the ball, the other team is chasing, the other team is working. So again, Coach Cromwell said the biggest change that they want to see in defense is just possessing the ball. So offense, they want to have the ball more, make the other team defend, get the other team tired. And for UCLA, really in the second half, we're just not seeing that possession that Coach Cromwell is so desperately seeking.
Arizona State begin with Farquharson off for the moment, trying to get something going on the offensive end. Another ball lofted into the area. Header back. Stevens trying to get a foot free, can't. Tipped out by the Bruin.
Those balls into that seam, that space, those second chance balls for UCLA have been causing them problems, and it seems like that's what Arizona State is trying to do. Trying to just send balls in and hope that UCLA can make a mistake.
Another giveaway, but Arizona State trying to continue the pressure here and get a go-ahead goal. Again, Lavruski scoring first in the initial 10 minutes for UCLA. And the answer back in the 14th minute by Jessica Raby of ASU. Good look at Alyssa Martinez. San Pedro, redshirt junior.
Get it back!
Cross off the throw-in. Missed touch. But it was deflected in the right way. It didn't hurt UCLA. Alvarado, moon draped all over her. Double team coming from Steven. Strong work for the junior from Newport Beach.
Excellent footwork by Alvarado to get out of that pressure. She was double teamed in there. UCLA able to maintain possession.
Caskey sliding it forward past Munnerlyn. Lavruski gets denied. Best save of the match by Morris.
Well, maybe the UCLA spark that they are needing up top and lacking. An excellent look by Caskey. She sees two runners for UCLA. Munnerlyn able to slip this through. And Lavruski, oh, so close to finding her second goal of the match. As you see, this ball just slips through. Munnerlyn gets a touch on it, which second guesses the defender.
Good, stop! Yeah! Back!
Centering ball, headed on right to Morris. The cross from Miranda. Good cutback from Omida. Berryhill. Raby. The cross. Handled by Irvin.
Really just a beautiful build-up from Arizona State on that last opportunity. They were able to possess and finally get the ball outside to find Jessica Raby.
Konko Mroczykowski gets dumped. So free kick coming up, UCLA.
And if you're Coach Boyd, you want to see more of this, more combination play as Berryhill gets involved in the offense, and it created this chance for Raby to try to get that ball across to find her runners, and she had runners in the box there, just unable to pull it back.
Driven ball, far post. Serta was lurking there, but didn't have enough on it to get to her head. And two teams that have played even on the day, restarts get more magnified the longer we remain deadlocked.
It really has been fairly even. Early in the game, it was UCLA, and then since they scored in that first half, it was all Arizona State. And now we're starting to see the game open up a little bit, seeing some opportunities on each end.
That's Berryhill who hits the deck. Free kick coming up. Again, moved from the back line to a more forward position for this team. She'll be one of the players in the box looking to be on the end of this free kick from Lucy Lara. Left-footed swerving ball. Dangerous there, headed loose at the 6. Irvik covers up, but a missed opportunity there.
Such a dangerous ball in there for Arizona State. And it just looked like that was going to be their chance to get one. That's a beautiful ball in by Lara. And it deflects just in the box, goes up, and Ervik able to pounce on it. You can see here lots of runners, lots of confusion in the box for UCLA, and Ervik does well to come up with this one.
And Ometer wishes that she had another crack. If that hop is a little bit lower, her right foot may have buried that between the pipes for the go-ahead goal. Under 5 minutes left in regulation. Arizona State hoping for a turnaround moment in their season.
Just saw Josh Walters get off the bench and really start to yell at his team saying, hey, let's go.
It's all right, kids.
And that's true. Both of these teams really just need some more energy. I know it's easier said than done on this hot day on a Sunday match in the 86th minute, but I think that's all it's going to take.
Raby. And a foul down. A couple things going on. Number one, there's the foul and the card coming out. So the first booking of the match for Jonas Barachi. And Raby picks it up for ASU.
You can see Claire Winter in here trying to go for the ball with Raby. And I think this looks a lot worse than the intent of Raby. She was going for the ball there, but comes in a bit late on Winter. Hard foul, so it draws the yellow.
Berryhill tips it forward. Ervik out. And another player down for the moment, and that's Ometer.
You can just see multiple players on the field, really hands to their knees. This has been a tough match, tough physical match. Obviously the heat coming into play as Rachel Ometer is able to run that one off.
Ervik will restart it here for the Bruins. She has been fairly consistent when called upon here for UCLA. Again, third goalie that Amanda Cromwell has used on this campaign. Again, with inconsistencies from the other two that have gotten an opportunity, said it was just basically time to give somebody else a chance. And Ervik, redshirt sophomore from Norway, got the win Friday and has her team even here with ASU as we are trending towards overtime.
And I think it's important to note with Ervik, Coach Cromwell said she's our third goalkeeper to start, but she's not the third string goalkeeper. So all three of these goalkeepers fighting on a weekly or even daily basis, trying to get some playing time in that starting role.
Jenkins ridden off.
She's not happy with that one, thought she was held in there in the box, pleading her case to the referee.
Two and a half left to go here in regulation. Miss pass. Alvarado, the step up. Jenkins into the 18. Time. Shot. Deflected by a defender in front. That's Grossman. It's out of play, but it's a corner for the Bruins.
And a great looking chance for Jenkins as she finds herself inside the 18, well inside the 18 on this through ball by Munderland. All kinds of space and time. She wanted to keep that on her right foot, and I think it was a good decision. Just took one too many touches and that angle got closed down for Jenkins, but a good corner opportunity here for the Bruins.
Bruins, about 90 seconds left in regulation. Settled in the box for a moment and taken away. Farquharson picks it off, picks out a teammate. Counter chance, ASU forward for Raby from Moon. That had promise but didn't develop. Lavruski tangling with Farquharson. Free kick ASU with 45 ticks remaining.
They've got to get set up here. This is a great chance for them.
It'll be Tosti. Maybe the best remaining chance here in regulation. Slotted near post. Ervik. First contact didn't smother it, but able to pick it up on the second.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6.
Well, for the second year in a
5,
row, UCLA
4,
and Arizona
3,
State
2, 1,
1-1 through regulation. Last year, nothing changed as they remain knotted through overtime. We'll see about the 2015 edition here, the meeting between the Bruins and the Sun Devils.
I really think this game is out there for the taking. It's going to come down to fitness in this hot, really physical battle Sunday game for both of these teams. So who's going to be able to step up and give that last effort to get the goal?
Teams taking a breather before halftime. We'll do the same. Get some refreshments and get back up here for the conclusion of this one. Sun Devils Bruins going to OT. Up next.
As they started this second overtime period, you saw a lot of hands in the air for Arizona State holding up a 5, and I believe that's the first 5. A lot of goals that get scored on in the first 5-minute segment of a period, and also in a 5-minute segment after a goal is scored. The most dangerous opportunities come in a match in those periods. So Arizona State really trying to focus here during these first 5 minutes of the second overtime.
Well, Farquharson bidding to get something done in the first 30 seconds of the second overtime, trying to shield the ball and generate a shot, but UCLA ready for that, trapped the Sun Devil scoring star and knocked it away.
As you take a look at Farquharson's movements, she's a sneaky player. She goes up top a lot, she hangs out in the middle, and that's the problem. She really loses defenders a lot. She can sneak away, kind of hide in the middle and get the ball, and then 2 seconds later she's past you.
Here she is receiving, laying it back for Lada. Forward for Moon, tricky little ball. Moon trying to bring it down and ward it off nicely. Mace, Ty, center backs for UCLA. Under the gun throughout.
Zia working hard right there, that left back for UCLA.
Raby has the tally for Arizona State. That was way back in the 14th minute. Lavruski scored for UCLA in the 9th minute. Feels like it was yesterday.
It does. I thought after those 2 goals we were going to see a lot more, but that is not the case. Both of these teams really wanting to find that golden goal.
Raby, Farquharson. I think the fact that we have not had another goal is more a result of tactics or temperature.
I think it's a combination of both. Also being a Sunday game, you start to see heavy legs, especially in the second half, and now we're into the second overtime period, so we're going to certainly see that a lot. And it really just comes down to they had a very hard battle, this Arizona State team, on Friday, so a lot of bumps, a lot of bruises, and we saw a lot of fouls. So really a break in the constant flow of the game that we're used to seeing from both of these sides. These are two teams that possess very well, but we haven't seen that much in the second half.
Jenkins back on for UCLA. See if she can be a difference maker here. 7 minutes remaining in the game. Of course, if there's a goal now, it ends. Goralski right on line to Morris.
It was a good idea by Goralski, trying to create something on her own through the middle. She's a defender that likes to get forward, likes to get inline, and some good services off for UCLA.
Jenkins looking for some daylight, center of the park. Now Miranda. Back for Jenkins. Little 1v1 work, slotting it forward. Edge of the box, trying to get a shot free. There it is, off the bar. Konko Murchikowski ripped it and almost ended it.
Well, I like what she has brought to this game. She's been really able to hold on to the ball well for UCLA. Look at her dance around. There's 4 defenders in the box and able to get this shot off.
Another threat from the Bruins. Morris tested one more time. And UCLA really ramping up its intensity here in the second overtime as you see Winter dumped to the turf. And this may be a card that it is for Taylor Kuhn. Second booking of the match for the Sun Devils. First to Raby earlier in the second half.
Claire Winter on that last play just comes in here with a ton of speed, and Kuhn gets her late, doesn't touch the ball, but I like the sportsmanship by Kuhn. She came over to make sure Winter was okay.
Looked more like a foul of fatigue than intense. Either way, great restart chance for UCLA. And the ball, just a touch too strong. Miranda, last player on the far side with a chance at it.
Good looking service though from Alvarado.
Don't forget up after us. Battle crosstown, about 11 miles away at USC, Arizona, and the women of Troy ready to go toe-to-toe. Jim Watson, Timorous Lane will have that one coming up. Less than 5 minutes left to go here in the second overtime. We get a goal, it's over. If they remain tied for the remaining time till we get to the 1:10 mark on your score strip there, it'll end at 1-all. Two teams desperate to break back into the win column.
We failed to mention yet that UCLA has been playing all game without their star, Taylor Smith, their star forward, their senior captain. Unsure why we haven't seen her yet, but without her, this UCLA attack is seeing a different dimension. That's a player that has so much speed, and we talk about that lacking experience in this lineup, and she brings a lot of experience.
Farquharson, wide for Raby. Jenkins forward, trying to turn the corner, looking to get by Grossman. Good help defense from Tosti.
She got by Grossman, but luckily for the Sun Devils, Tosti was there to help clean things up.
Farquharson screaming over the line. Tried to play it forward. Nice touch to deflect it away by Mace.
You saw how far back, how deep Farquharson was when she dug that ball out. And her and Moon have a great chemistry up there, able to connect with each other really well, able to read each other's runs.
Forward, Berryhill, left-footed shot, missed the net.
That was a great looking chance for the Sun Devils there, as Mackenzie Berryhill breaks through this line and finds a lot of time and space and daylight in front of her, just outside the 18, unable to put this one on frame.
UCLA not accounting for Mackenzie Berryhill and almost paid dearly for it. 2 minutes left to go. Miranda, give and go was there, but Kuhn able to step back into the passing lane. Tosti pegging it downfield. Moon trying to link with Farquharson.
We're starting to see this game open up a little bit more.
Under 90 seconds remaining. Will it open up enough for us to get a victory?
That is the question. We saw Arizona State with a great chance with Berryhill. Who's going to be able to capitalize on that last chance?
Lara trying to chip it through, but Raby couldn't get the run timed right. Irving, quick clearance on the throw for UCLA. Lavruski. Nobody out wide in that section of the field for the Bruins. 40 seconds left. Morris out. Out of play, almost, and now it is, but 10 seconds left. On a blistering hot day here in Westwood, two teams, the Sun Devils and Bruins, for the second year in a row, end up tied at 1. 1-1 draw for ASU and UCLA. Kevin Boyd, the smile from him. The losing streak is over as they get a decent result here on the road. Amanda Cromwell and the Bruins, they've got to go back to work as well.
And I think it's a good result for Arizona State to get a tie on the road in this conference. It's a huge feat, especially trying to turn things around for this team. For UCLA, they were hoping to get that momentum and keep it going, but they've got to look ahead to next week.
So UCLA 2-2-1 now in the Pac-12. Arizona State 0-4-1 after this 1-1 draw here in Westwood. Lavruski got it started. Raby with the matching goal, and 1-1 is how it ends. For Tracy Bailey, our entire crew, this is Jason Knapp saying so long.